Breaking news. The first direct China-Iran freight train departs Tehran, reshaping global trade and challenging the old order. The air in Tehran this morning was charged with anticipation, a sense of history in motion. On the tracks, a colossal freight train, wagons emblazoned with Iranian and Chinese flags, stood ready. Horns blared, a single powerful note echoing across the city. This was the inaugural journey of the China-Iran Railway, a steel artery pumping new life into an ancient partnership. High-ranking officials from Tehran and Beijing stood side by side, declaring a new era of cooperation. The train, nearly a mile long, carried Iranian petrochemicals, minerals, and agricultural goods bound for Western China. But its true cargo was a direct challenge to the established routes of global commerce. As the signal turned green, the great machine began its 14-day journey across Asia, bypassing traditional maritime choke points. For Iran, it's a lifeline to circumvent sanctions. For China, a critical piece of its Belt and Road Initiative. As the train disappeared into the horizon, it left a clear message. The world is changing, and new paths are being forged. The railway is the most tangible outcome of the 25-year strategic cooperation agreement between China and Iran. Signed in 2021, the deal promised billions in Chinese investment for a steady supply of Iranian oil. But this partnership is about more than money. It's a strategic alignment against a US-dominated world order. The railway connects China's industrial heartland to Iran's energy reserves, creating a secure, land-based corridor. For Iran, it's a direct, sanction-resistant route to its biggest customer, and a way to modernize its industries. For China, it's a solution to the Malacca dilemma, diversifying energy supply routes and reducing vulnerability to blockades. This isn't just economics, it's national security. Both nations have what the other needs: Iran's energy and location, China's capital and technology. Together, they're forging a new economic and political bloc in Eurasia. The railway is the steel thread binding them, a testament to their shared goal of a multipolar world. This is a new axis of power, and its influence is only beginning to be felt. The partnership is a classic example of geopolitics in action. To grasp the railway's significance, you must understand the Strait of Malacca, a narrow, vital trade route. 80% of China's oil imports and trillions in goods pass through this US-policed strait. China's Malacca dilemma is the fear that a blockade could strangle its economy. The China-Iran Railway is Beijing's bold answer, a land route for energy and goods, bypassing the strait entirely. Oil and gas can now travel directly from Iran to Western China. While trains won't replace supertankers overnight, this is a vital, secure alternative, a strategic insurance policy. In a crisis, the railway ensures energy keeps flowing, changing the Indo-Pacific strategic calculus. For global trade, it's a new, potentially faster option between Asia and the Middle East. The train aims to complete the trip in 14 days, rivaling sea routes for high-value goods. This signals a future where Eurasian land trade could once again rival maritime trade. For the first time in the modern era, the Malacca Strait's dominance is being seriously challenged. The world is watching as the balance of trade shifts. This railway is more than infrastructure, it's a tool of geopolitics. By creating a direct land bridge, China and Iran are redrawing Eurasia's economic and strategic map. It's the centerpiece of China's Belt and Road Initiative, aiming to place China at the center of a new global network. The balance of power in the Middle East is shifting, as China uses economic statecraft, not military force, to build influence. By becoming an indispensable economic partner, China gains political leverage without Western-style conditions. The China-Iran-Russia triangle is growing stronger, challenging the dominance of the US dollar and the post-Cold War order. The railway physically links key members of this bloc, facilitating trade and cooperation. As Eurasia becomes more integrated, the dominance of maritime powers like the US and UK could wane. China is putting Mackinder's theory into practice, controlling the heartland with steel rails, not armies. This is a deliberate move to create a new center of global power based on continental integration. The old maps are becoming obsolete. The world's strategic landscape is being rewritten. The China-Iran Railway pulses with both economic and strategic significance. For Iran, it opens the vast Chinese market for oil, pistachios, saffron, carpets, and minerals, diversifying its economy and creating jobs. For China, it provides a new Western gateway for goods, helping develop inland provinces and making Chinese products more competitive in Iran. This is trade on a massive scale, locking in economic interdependence. Strategically, the railway cements China's alliance with Iran. giving Beijing a stake in Persian Gulf stability. The partnership is now grounded in concrete and steel, not just words. The railway is a symbol of China's alternative model: connect and build, not isolate and sanction. For many in the global south, this approach is increasingly appealing. The railway is not just a route for trains, it's a vehicle for Chinese influence and ideology. The project's symbolism cannot be overstated. It's a new model for international relations. Building this railway was an epic engineering challenge. The route crosses deserts and mountains, requiring hundreds of bridges and dozens of tunnels, unifying technical standards across Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and China demanded immense coordination. Chinese engineers worked with local teams to standardize tracks or build transshipment hubs. Locomotives are designed for harsh conditions, and tracks are built to withstand extreme temperatures. Advanced tunneling and bridge building techniques were essential in mountainous regions. A parallel fiber optic cable creates a digital Silk Road along the corridor. Chinese-led development banks financed the project, deepening economic ties with Central Asia. For these nations, the railway brings investment and upgrades aging infrastructure. This is as much a monument to Chinese engineering as to its geopolitical ambition. Central Asia, once the heart of the Silk Road, is reclaiming its role as a continental crossroads. The China-Iran Railway transforms landlocked nations like Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan into vital transit hubs. They earn revenue from transit fees and benefit from new jobs, stations, and industrial zones. The railway enables them to export resources more easily and diversify their economies. It also gives them greater strategic autonomy, balancing ties between Russia, China, and others. The region is being integrated into a new Eurasian economic ecosystem, reducing dependence on any single power. Challenges remain: debt to China and Russia's wary eye, but leaders see opportunity outweighing risk. Central Asia is seizing the chance to turn geography into an asset. The Silk Road is being reborn, with Central Asia at its center. A new era of prosperity and connection is dawning. The China-Iran Railway has sent shockwaves through global power centers. In Washington, it's seen as a direct challenge to U.S. policy and a sign of growing China-Iran alignment. American options are limited. The railway is a physical reality. Europe is divided. Some see a threat, others a commercial opportunity. The project forces Europe to confront its complex relationship with China. India views the railway as a strategic setback, outflanking its own connectivity efforts. Russia welcomes the challenge to U.S. dominance, but is wary of China's growing influence in Central Asia. Gulf Arab states, rivals of Iran and U.S. allies, are alarmed by Tehran's new economic lifeline. Yet, they too have deepening economic ties with China, complicating old alliances. The railway forces all players to navigate a more complex, multipolar environment. Old allegiances are no longer guaranteed. The global order is shifting before our eyes. This railway is the inheritor of the ancient Silk Road's legacy. For centuries, caravan routes made Central Asia and Persia centers of wealth and learning. The new railway signals a return to land-based connectivity, reviving the logic of the Silk Road. It's a primary artery in China's Belt and Road network, linking manufacturing with Middle Eastern resources and markets. Today, oil, electronics, and machinery travel in 2 weeks what once took months by camel. The project is a symbol of a changing world, toward a multipolar order with new centers of power. The China-Iran Railway is a physical manifestation of this shift, built by nations charting their own course. It suggests a future where control of land masses rivals control of the seas. As the first train departs Tehran, one era ends and another begins. The ancient dream of a connected Eurasia is reborn, not with caravans, but with steel wheels on steel tracks. The journey into a new century has begun.